I'd like to give a shout out to our latest members. We have Kay Cooper, Jeremy Sticks, Chef Chevy TV, Debbie P, Kevin Law, and Debbie Gossi. Thank you guys for being a special friend to our channel. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. And just remember that God is good and we love you. So we're going to get right to Trump right now. He's ready to speak at the White House. And thanks you guys for joining us. We do appreciate you and we do not take it lightly.
Thank you very much. You know this gentleman, one of the truly great legends of our time, my book. Before we begin, I'd like to say a few words about the shooting at Fort Stewart in Georgia. As you know, 5 people were seriously wounded and 2 very, very seriously hurt around 11 o'clock this morning. The shooter is now in custody, and the Army Criminal Investigation Division is on site to ensure that the perpetrator of this atrocity, which is exactly what it is, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The entire nation is praying for the victims and their families, and hopefully they'll fully recover, and we can put this chapter behind, but we're not going to forget what happened. We're going to take very good care of this person that did this, horrible person. This afternoon, we're pleased to welcome to the White House one of the great and most esteemed business leaders and geniuses and innovators anywhere in the world, Apple CEO Tim Cook. Amazing job. Thanks as well to Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick for being here, wherever you may be. Oh, there you are. Hello, fellas. I missed you. Today, Apple is announcing that it will invest $600 billion, that's with a B,
Woo.
in the United States over the next 4 years. That's $100 billion more than they were originally going to invest. And this is the largest investment Apple has ever made in America and anywhere else. And it's just an honor to have you. As you know, Apple's been an investor in other countries a little bit. I won't say which ones, but a couple. And they're coming home. $600 billion, it's the biggest there is. The company is also unveiling its ambitious new American manufacturing program, which will bring factories and assembly lines across our country, all roaring to life. Areas that were not doing so well are doing very well. We have about $17 trillion coming into the United States, which is more than ever before. It's never even come close. There's never been anything like it. Even you, that's even a lot of money for you. But we have commitments of more than $17 trillion. That was as of a couple of weeks ago. These investments will directly create more than 20,000 brand new American jobs and many thousands more at the Apple suppliers like Corning, Broadcom, Texas Instruments, and Samsung, who all deal in that world. As part of this historic commitment, Apple will massively increase spending on its domestic supply chain for the iPhone and will build the largest and most sophisticated smart glass production line in the world in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, which is a great, actually, I did very well there. I like it because I see I did very well there. I did very well in Kentucky, but it's a great place. You're going to be very happy. I thought maybe while we're up, I'll interrupt my own speech by you might show them a little bit about the product that you're going to be doing in Kentucky, Tim.
Absolutely. Mind if I step up?
Yes, please.
This box was made in California, and this glass comes off the Corning line. It's great for President Trump. It's a unique unit of one. It was designed by U.S. Marine Corps corporal, a former one, that works at Apple now.
He's doing well.
Designed it for you. And the base comes from Utah, and it's 24 karat gold, and it sits, I'll take the liberty of setting it up.
Wow.
Well, let's see, there we go. Congratulations,
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
President.
It's
Thank you
fantastic.
so much.
The great people of Kentucky. you're going to find it a great place to do business too. It's fantastic. Isn't that nice? We're doing these things now in the United States instead of other countries, faraway countries. This is a significant step toward the ultimate goal of ensuring that iPhones sold in the United States of America also are made in America. With the mass infusion of capital it's announcing today, Apple will also build a 250,000 square foot server manufacturing facility in Houston and invest billions of dollars to construct data centers across the country from North Carolina to Iowa to Oregon. That's big stuff. Apple will also open state-of-the-art manufacturing economy. It's going to be a manufacturing academy in Detroit, and that's a great place to do. You know, big things are happening in Michigan and Detroit. They're coming in because of what we've done with the, I call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. I added one word, great. But we have probably the biggest, most comprehensive piece of legislation ever passed. It's going to mean unbelievable numbers of jobs and no jobs on, think of this, whether it's tips or overtime or Social Security, no tax. So no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. And there's just a small bit of it. For Apple and others businesses, we're talking about the deductions and all of the things. And actually for people, they go out and buy a car, first time it's ever been done. We talk about deductions for companies, but they're going to be able to deduct interest when they borrow money to buy a car, if it's made in America. It has to be made in America. So it is amazing. And one of the reasons I think I can say that Apple's coming here is the legislation we just passed with this kind of investment. Apple will also open other facilities, rare earth magnets from Texas, and build, oh, I love that you're doing this. I love that. I love that. And build a brand new rare earth recycling line in Mountain Pass, California. I know that area. That's where they have a lot of truly rare earth. That's fantastic. I love that. And Apple will help develop and manufacture semiconductors and semiconductor equipment in Texas, Utah, Arizona, and New York. For years, Americans have watched as many of our leading tech giants built their factories overseas and exported American jobs abroad. But under the Trump administration, we're doing everything possible to make this the best place on earth to build a factory or grow businesses. I'm allowing them to build electric producing plants with their factory, because otherwise they'd have to hook into the grid. And I think it's one of the biggest things we've done, where you can build your own electricity. You become your own electric manufacturer, and that goes along with the plant. So you become a utility. So congratulations, now you're in the utility. I hope they don't value your company based on utility, but that's okay. You're going to be making your own electricity, and as you probably know, for much of this and many of the things that we're doing, especially the AI, they would need actually double the electricity that the country now produces for everything. So it's massive electric, and they're going to be able to make their own, and they're getting very fast approvals. Lee Zeldin is doing a fantastic job, including with a 100% expensing on the One Big Beautiful Bill. In return, we're asking our businesses to invest in America, and they're coming in at levels that we've never seen before. So I don't know when it shows up, but there are a lot of factories and a lot of plants that are either under construction or soon will be starting construction. So can't tell you exactly when, but I want to be around in about a year from now and 2 years from now, because we're going to see an explosion, I think, like this country has never seen before. Never. Today's announcement is one of the largest commitments in what has become among the greatest investment booms in our nation's history, and we've got the hottest country anywhere in the world. You know, I told you the story that, and Tim, I'll tell you, but I went to the Middle East, and I was with Qatar, I was with UAE, and the King of Saudi Arabia, all great leaders. And then I went to NATO and saw many great leaders. So we just finished that about 4 weeks ago. Virtually everyone said, in effect, that we were a dead country 1 year ago. America, this was a dead country. We were dying, we were dead. And now you've got the hottest country anywhere in the world. This would have never happened except for certain people. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. NVIDIA is investing 500 billion to go along with Apple 600 billion. 600 billion. Micron, great company, is investing 200 billion. IBM is investing more than 150 billion. SoftBank is investing substantially more than 100 billion. TSMC is investing 200 billion. Johnson & Johnson, 55 billion. Merck, Stellantis, and General Motors are putting many, many billions in. They haven't determined the final number. And many other countries are investing tens of billions of dollars. And I'm not going to give you the whole list because the list is too long to read. But it's hundreds of billions and even trillions. I mean, it's trillions of dollars that's being invested right now. Last week it was announced that our economy grew at 3% in the second quarter, and consumer confidence is surging. Blue-collar wages are rising rapidly. Costs are way down. You know, I listen to these horrendous frauds on CNN and various other fake news networks, and they say costs are up. No, costs are down. Gasoline is down. It's going to soon, I believe, be less than $2 a gallon. It's around $2.40 right now, many places other than in California where they tax you out of business, but and a couple of others. But gasoline is way down. The price of groceries are down. How about eggs? When I first came here, my first week, the press hit me very hard on eggs. Eggs had quadrupled or something. I said, I didn't know about it. Give me a chance. I've just been here for 4 days. Well, eggs are down. Everything's down. Price is down. The only thing that's up is stock prices. That's really up, and that's through the roof. The stock market has been hitting all-time records, all-time highs. Last week it was announced that our economy grew at levels that we haven't seen in a long time, but the real levels of growth are going to be judged in a year from now when you start seeing some of these incredible plants, because we have car plants opening. They're coming in from Canada, from Mexico, and from all over the world. And they're coming in because they like the way the election worked out, but they also like the fact that they don't want to pay tariffs. And the tariffs, I think, we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. I won't be so specific other than to say, because we don't even know what the final number is. We just made a deal, as you know, with the EU where they're paying hundreds of billions of dollars. Japan paying hundreds of billions of dollars, and numerous other countries paying hundreds of billions of dollars. And we're not even completed there. And as you know, they found 25 billion 3 weeks ago. They said we have a surplus of $25 billion. And they said, where did this come from? I said, check the tariffs. And they checked. They said, you're right, that's where it came from. And we've really just started. This is just in its infancy. So we have a great country. We have a country that is going to be very rich. It's a country that we're very proud of, but it's going to be very rich. And it's companies like Apple, they're coming home. They're all coming home. And we want them to come home. They have to come home. We're going to treat them really well. We're going to be putting a very large tariff on chips and semiconductors. But the good news for companies like Apple is if you're building in the United States or have committed to build, without question committed to build in the United States, there will be no charge. In other words, we're not going to be charging. So a lot of countries, a lot of companies are leaving various other places and they're coming to the United States. So in other words, we'll be putting a tariff on of approximately 100% on chips and semiconductors. But if you're building in the United States of America, there's no charge, even though you're building and you're not producing yet in terms of the big numbers of jobs and all of the things that you're building. If you're building, there will be no charge. So I just want everyone to know that. And I didn't even tell you that inside. We discussed the concept, but I didn't. So it's a big factor. So 100% tariff on all chips and semiconductors coming into the United States. But if you've made a commitment to build, or if you're in the process of building, as many are, there is no tariff. Okay? If for some reason you say you're building and you don't build, then we go back and we add it up, it accumulates, and we charge you at a later date. You have to pay, and that's a guarantee. So that's a big statement, and I think the chip companies are all coming back home. they're all coming back. You know, we started with Intel, and gradually Intel was just taken over the coals. They were taken to the cleaners, frankly, and moved to other places, in particular Taiwan. But I think a lot of those companies are coming back, and they're coming back very rapidly. So that's a big step. A 100% tariff. I want to thank you very much. Tim, would you like to say a few words about your company, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. President, thank you very much for having me here today. You've been a great advocate for American innovation and manufacturing. I'm grateful for your leadership and your commitment. That's a commitment we share at Apple because American innovation is central to everything we do. Our products are designed here, we're hiring and growing here, and we support 450,000 jobs with thousands of suppliers and partners in all 50 states. Earlier this year, we made our largest ever spending commitment, $500 billion to the U.S. over the next 4 years. That's already yielding results. Earlier this year, we broke ground on a new factory in Houston to make advanced AI servers. And just last month, the very first test unit rolled off that factory's line, proudly made in America. President Trump shared some kind words about that work, but he also asked us to think about what more we could commit to doing. And Mr. President, we took that challenge very seriously. I'm glad to be here with you today, and I'm very proud to say that today we're committing an additional $100 billion to the United States, bringing our total U.S. investment to $600 billion over the next 4 years.
Wow.
As a part of this, we're launching Apple's American Manufacturing Program. It will spur even more production right here in America for critical components used in Apple products all around the world. And we're thrilled to announce that we've already signed new agreements with 10 companies across America to do just that. First, with today's announcements, I'm proud to say that Apple is leading the creation of an end-to-end silicon supply chain right here in America, from design to equipment to wafer production to fabrication to packaging. In Texas, we're working with manufacturers like Texas Instruments, Global Wafers America, and Applied Materials. We're working with Amcor in Arizona and Broadcom and Global Foundries in New York. Thanks to President Trump's vision, and with his help in his first term, we also led the way to bring TSMC to Arizona by committing to be their first and largest customer. Today, they're producing tens of millions of chips for Apple using one of the most advanced process technologies in America today. We're going to keep working with our suppliers to move even more of this incredibly advanced work to America. And this year alone, American manufacturers are on track to make 19 billion chips for Apple in 24 factories across 12 different states. Second, we're committed to buying American-made advanced rare earth magnets developed by MP Materials, which will become part of Apple's devices shipped around the world. MP is the only fully integrated rare earth producer in the United States, and with this partnership, they'll be significantly expanding their flagship facility in Fort Worth, Texas. We're also thrilled to work together on a cutting-edge rare earth recycling line in Mountain Pass, California. And third, in Kentucky, we've worked with our partners at Corning to build the world's largest and most advanced smartphone glass production line. And I'm pleased to announce that very soon, this is for the first time ever, every single new iPhone and every single new Apple Watch sold anywhere in the world will contain cover glass made in Kentucky. In addition to the American Manufacturing Program, we're also significantly growing our investments in AI, including expanding data center capacity in North Carolina, in Nevada, in Iowa, in Arizona, and Oregon. So we're going to keep making investments right here in America. We're going to keep hiring in America. And we're going to keep building technologies at the heart of our products right here in America. Because we're a proud American company, and we believe deeply in the promise of this great nation. Thank you all, and thank you, President Trump, for putting American innovation and American jobs front and center. Thank you, sir.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
What a job he's done. What a job. Incredible. I want to thank you very much, and thank you, JD, for helping along. Good job. Really good job. Any questions, please?
Mr. President,
Yes.
you promised on the campaign trail to bring forth a manufacturing renaissance. You just mentioned $17 trillion in your first 7 months or so.
Right.
Can you talk about how an investment like this, all the other ones that you laid out, will positively impact the millions of Americans that trusted you with their vote?
Thank you very much. It changes our country. I mean, our country is a very different country than it was 6 months ago. And people like Tim are coming. We had Micron in yesterday. We had all of the big, great companies that you read about, you don't know about, but you read about. Many of them were making products outside of our country. Foolishly, we lost them. If we had the right person sitting in that seat, that would have never happened 20 and 30 years ago. When you look at the chip business, it would have never left our shores. We had 100% of chips originally, and then we slowly got taken down to nothing. We have the biggest chip companies, both of them, but we have the biggest in the world coming in. They're going to Arizona and beyond. And we're going to have, in a short period of time, we'll be up to almost 50% of the chips from starting at nothing. And that's something. But we have the greatest companies in the world coming into our country, and that means jobs, and it means wealth, and wealth means security for our people. Okay? Brian?
Yes, sir. Congratulations on this investment, President Trump.
Thank you.
Good, great example of putting America first. What does the labor force look like to fill these jobs that you have? Do we have enough skilled American workers to fill this?
Well, we do have a lot of workers, and we have a lot of workers that hadn't been looking for work because they were disincentivized, frankly. And people like Tim have tremendous schools and training centers that they build along with a lot of their big plants where they train people on whether it's glass, like in Kentucky, or computers, or whatever they might be doing. It's a complex world, and they train people, and they do a great job. So it's a whole new workforce. Now, we have a lot of them in energy because, you know, they've always liked energy. As you know, coal has opened up big. We brought it back in a very large way. You know, China's right now building 58 coal-fired plants, 58 big ones. And here we were saying, we don't take coal, we have more coal than anybody else in the world. We have more oil and gas than anybody else in the world. But we have tremendous energy jobs, and the energy, as you know, we're booming with energy. And that's why the gasoline prices are down and costs are down. I just hope when they watch these shows, I watch this, I won't use names because I just make them better known that nobody knows who they are. But I watch this group of people on CNN and MSDNC too, the same thing, where they say, well, costs have gone up. Costs haven't gone up, they've gone down. I'm telling you, the thing that's gone up is stock prices, and success of our country. Our country is really, really doing well, successful. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, President, has President Zelensky agreed to a summit yet, and where and when would that be?
Well, there's a very good prospect that they will, and we haven't determined where, but we had some very good talks with President Putin today, and there's a very good chance that we could be ending the end of that road. That road was long and continues to be long, but there's a good chance that there will be a meeting very soon. Excuse me?
How close do you think you are to something?
Well, look, I don't want to say it. I've been disappointed before with this one. You know, we've solved 5 wars, plus add to that Iran, where we wiped out their nuclear capacity for weapons. They would have had a weapon within 2 months, maybe less. And that was totally obliterated. Turned out it was a total obliteration. And the pilots and the people that did that job are really, we have the greatest armed forces in the world, but that was really something. In fact, there's a model of the plane right there. You got to bring that up, Susie. We have to see that. Look at this. This was just given to me. You know, we ordered brand new B-2 bombers. This is a plane that over a period of 36 hours of constant flying, look at this. So this is the brand new one they just ordered, similar but actually quite different. It's new and enhanced. It's an amazing machine. Went 36 hours. We had 52 tankers up in the air loading up our planes because this was surrounded by F-22s and F-35s, and it was flawless. Tim, even you would say it was flawless. And every one of those bombs hit their target. And then we had Tomahawks shot in from a submarine 300 miles away, and they hit every single Tomahawk hit its target. It was amazing. And that was a big threat. That was a nuclear threat. And here's the new one that we just ordered, a large number of them. I'll put it.
Mr. President, what was the breakthrough today? Did Vladimir Putin make some kind of concession that he hasn't been willing to make before?
I don't call it a breakthrough. I mean, we've been working on this a long time. There are thousands of young people dying, mostly soldiers, but also, missiles being hit into Kiev and other places. But in terms of soldiers, I think Russia's lost over 20,000 since the beginning of the year. 20,000. And I guess the estimate for Ukraine is about 9,000. It's a terrible situation. We want to get it stopped. We don't have American soldiers there, but I feel I have an obligation to get it stopped. This was not my war. This war would have never started, not even a chance. And it didn't start for 4 years. It went 4 years and it didn't start. But this is Biden's war. This was on his watch. And it's funny, we had no land was taken from Trump. It was taken from Bush. It was taken from Biden. The whole thing that would take from Biden if it weren't for us. But it was taken by Obama. Take a look at what was taken with all of the land that was taken. Nothing was taken by Russia from us. Not 1 ounce of land was taken. I'm here to get the thing over with. It would have never started if I were president. And we're here to get it stopped and get the death stopped. Yeah, please.
President, in the past, you said you would know if Putin was hacking you along. What gives you any confidence that he is or isn't doing that this time around?
Can't answer the question yet. I'll tell you in a matter of weeks, maybe less. But we've made a lot of progress. And as you know, we put a 50% tariff on India, on oil. They're the second largest. They're very close to China in terms of the purchase of oil from Russia. But so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but we've had very productive talks today. Yes, ma'am?
President Trump, on federalizing DC, are you considering taking over the DC police? Is that an option on the table?
We're considering it, yeah, because the crime is ridiculous. I could show you a chart comparing DC to other locations, and you're not going to want to see what it looks like. It was just up on television, actually, they were showing it. Now, we want to have a great, safe capital. And we're going to have it. And that includes cleanliness and includes other things. We have a capital that's very unsafe. We just almost lost a young man, beautiful, handsome guy that got the hell knocked out of him the night before last. And I'm going to call him now. We wanted to give him a little recovery time. We just put a call into him. They're calling back in a little while. But he went through a bad situation, to put it mildly, and there's too much of it. We're gonna do something about it. So whether you call it federalized or what, and that also includes the graffiti that you see, the papers all over the place, the roads that are in bad shape, the medians that are falling down, the median in between roads that's falling down. We're gonna beautify the city. We're gonna make it beautiful, and what a shame. The rate of crime, the rate of muggings, killings, and everything else, we're not going to let it. And that includes bringing in the National Guard, maybe very quickly, too.
And do you want Congress to look at overturning the DC Home Rule Act?
And we're going to look at that. In fact, the lawyers are already studying it. We have to run DC. This has to be the best run place in the country, not the worst run place in the country. And it has so much potential. And we're going to take care of it. You're going to be safe. You're going to be safe walking down streets. You're not going to get mugged.
Mr. President, if you do reach a deal with Ukraine and Russia, would you drop the additional tariffs on India?
Well, we'll determine that later. But right now they're paying a 50% tariff. Okay.
Yeah, please. One for Mr. Mr. Cook as well.
Yeah, please, sure.
The president wants a made in the USA iPhone. What are the chances that you can actually make that happen?
Well, if you look at the bulk of it, we're doing a lot of the semiconductors here. We're doing the glass here. We're doing the Face ID module here. And so there's a ton of it. And we're doing these for products sold elsewhere in the world. And so there's a lot of content in there from the United States.
But what about the whole thing?
We're very proud of it.
Can you make the whole thing?
Just the final assembly that you're focused on. And that will be elsewhere for a while.
He makes many of the components here, and we've been talking about it, and the whole thing is set up at other places, and it's been there for a long time. So in terms of the cost and all, but I think we may incentivize him enough that one day he'll be bringing that. But he brings most of the stuff. Look, he's not making this kind of an investment anywhere in the world, not even close. He's coming back. I mean, Apple's coming back to America. Thank you.
Mr. President, Indian officials.
Let me go, please.
Indian officials have said that there are other countries that are buying Russian oil.
It's okay.
Like China, for instance,
It's
buying
okay.
more.
Yeah.
Why are you singling India out for these additional
It's only
sanctions?
been 8 hours, so let's see what happens over the next.
More secondary
Yeah,
sanctions.
you're going to see a lot more.
So this is a taste of.
You're going to see a lot more. You're
Mr.
going to see so much
You were the
secondary sanctions. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, you were the driving force behind Operation Warp Speed, these mRNA vaccines that are the gold standard.
Right.
Now your health secretary is pulling back all the funding for research. He's saying that the risks outweigh the benefits, which puts him at odds with
Research
the
on
entire
what?
medical community and with you. What is going
Yeah.
on
Research on what?
into mRNA vaccines?
Well, we're going to look at that. We're talking about it, and they're doing a very good job. And you know that is a pass. With Operation Warp Speed was, whether you're Republican or Democrat, considered one of the most incredible things ever done in this country. The efficiency, the way it was done, the distribution, everything about it has been amazing. But you know that was now a long time ago, and we're on to other things. But we are speaking about it. We have meetings about it in tomorrow, actually tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and we'll determine. We're looking for other answers to other problems, to other sicknesses and diseases, and I think we're doing really well. Yes, ma'am, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said many times that you want to stop wars in the Middle East. Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu is contemplating reoccupying Gaza entirely. Is he defying you, sir, or are you giving him a green light?
Well, we have stopped wars in the Middle East by stopping Iran from having a nuclear weapon, and they're they can say they're going to start all over again, but that's a very dangerous thing for them to do, because we'll be back. As soon as they start, we'll be back. And I think they understand that. They're just words. But no, we've stopped a lot of wars in the Middle East. If you think about what we did with Iran, Iran was the perpetrator of hate, a very evil place, and I think it's going to be a lot different in the coming years.
On the India penalties, do you have any similar plans to enact more tariffs on China as it relates
Could
to their
happen,
purchases?
could happen. Depends on how we do. Could happen. Right.
I've got an entertainment-based question for you. A few weeks ago, Stephen Colbert announced that he was leaving his show. Howard Stern announced that he and Sirius XM Radio are parting ways. Do you think the hate Trump business model that's been in the entertainment business is going out of business because it's not popular with the American people?
Well, it hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked really for a long time, and I would say pretty much from the beginning. Colbert has no talent. I mean, I could take anybody here, I could go outside in the beautiful streets and pick up a couple of people that do just as well or better. They get higher ratings than he did. He's got no talent. Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going. I don't know, but I would imagine because they'd get, Colbert has better ratings than Kimmel or Fallon. You know that. Howard Stern, it's a name I haven't heard. I used to do a show, used to have fun, but I haven't heard that name in a long time. What happened? He got terminated?
Yeah, they're going to separate ways because I think what they're offering salary-wise is real low than what he's getting.
You know when he went down?
Whenever you want.
You know when he went down? No, before. When he endorsed Hillary Clinton, he lost his audience. People said, give me a break. He went down when he endorsed Hillary Clinton.
Mr. President. Is Governor Cuomo interviewing Fed candidates yet?
Yeah, we've started the interviewing process. Scott and I and Howard, a lot of people, JD, look, we have some great candidates. It's probably down to 3. He doesn't want the job. He said, do you like this job better?
Yes, sir.
I mean, he was a candidate, but I don't think he'll take it. I really don't think he'd take it, actually.
From Wall Street, Mr. President?
Yeah, essentially, we're all from Wall Street, aren't we? You know, when you get right down to the term Wall Street. Yeah, please.
Yep, you made your tax cuts permanent. You mentioned that the tariffs are bringing in a ton of external revenue. You've opened up markets, EU, Japan, South Korea, many others, to American goods like we've never seen before. How much growth can we expect in the economy now that this model of yours is sort of beginning to really take off?
Well, I think the growth is going to be unprecedented. I think we're going to have growth that's unbelievable. Now, remember, we're building and just starting to build a lot of these incredible plants. We talked about the electric facilities that we're building, the generating plants, electric generating plants are massive, and they're going to be great. And they're going to sell excess electricity into our grid. So we're going to be having much more electricity than we ever had. And those plants are going to be taken care of individually. I know Tim is building one in one of his big factories, but especially for AI because it needs so much electricity. So I appreciate the question very much. And I think the growth is going to be unprecedented.
Mr. President, New York City mayoral run.
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Mr. President, have you been briefed on what Ghislaine Maxwell told Todd Blanche?
No, I haven't. Have
You
not.
don't know whether
I
it
don't.
came up in the
I know Todd is a
conversation?
very respected person all over the country, now all over the world legally. So I don't know.
Mr. President.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Will the new Fed governor be temporary?
We're probably going to go with a temp and then a permanent, I think.
Are the two?
So the temp is going to be named, I'd say, over the next 2-3 days, and then we're going to go permanent.
Are the two Kevins the leading contenders for the permanent spot for the chair?
Well, the two Kevins are absolutely, they're both very good.
Mr. President.
The two Kevins is very good.
Mr. President, is Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of the top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think, here's the man right here.
I saw it reported today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country, and that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit, okay? Yeah, please.
A new Gallup poll says that Elon Musk is the most unpopular public figure in the country right now. I'm wondering, do you miss having him around the White House, or is that poll accurate?
I don't know if the poll's accurate. I think he's a good person. I think he had a bad moment, really bad moment. But he's a good person. I believe that.
President Trump, are you keeping that 10 to 12-day deadline? China is facing potential secondary sanctions for
Yeah.
Russian oil. Then having that tariff or sanction rather, or not hinges on what going forward?
It may happen. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you yet, but we did it with India. We're doing it probably with a couple of others. One of them could be China, yes.
Are you keeping that 10 to 12-day deadline that you have given Russia after today's talks?
Yeah, we're pretty much getting close to it right now, but we're having very serious talks right now about getting out of Ukraine, getting it settled, getting it ended. Should have never started, would have never started. If I were president, it would have never started. I want to thank Tim Cook. He's a great, great man, a visionary, a businessman, just about every quality you can have other than athleticism. I don't know about that. I'm looking at him. I'm not 100% sure about you. You're a good athlete. I bet you're pretty good. I think he's good at everything, but I want to thank you very much, Tim. Congratulations. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Thanks, guys.
Wow, that's like amazing what's happening for the United States of America. And as an American, I'm really happy that we're moving in the right direction. You might hate Trump. You might say, oh, all sorts of things about him, but you got to give credit where credit is due. At least he's bringing jobs and prosperity to the United States of America. and the previous administration did not do that. Obama's administration, Clinton's administration, he actually shipped jobs out of this country to China. That's why everything is made in China. So I like when people say negative things about him, some of them are warranted, but a lot of things that he deserves credit for, he's not getting. And I'm here to say, as someone who has always voted for the Democrat leadership, straight down ballot, because you know, black people, we don't look at policy. We just vote straight for the Democratic Party, who has done the most harm to the black community and have done the most harm to American citizens. That means all of us. When they open up the borders, it hurt all of us. When they allow Venezuela to empty out their prisons, which is the truth, it hurt all of us. So as American citizens, whether you're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Latino, Indian, indigenous, whatever you call yourself, you're benefiting from him being president of the United States, because we were on a downhill spiral fast. We would not have survived. Look at Kamala now. She's not running for any office. She was just running for the president of the United States, as of up to November of last year. She was running for president. And now, 6 months later, or 7, 8 months later, she's out of the political party of running for any office, not even running for the governor of California. And this is someone that had the opportunity of running for president of the United States, that she has crashed and burned. Crashed and burned, and she's not even holding an office. So that says a lot about the American people, that we had enough common sense and enough know-it-all to have seen that that woman was unfit to be president, as well as the former president of the United States, Joe Biden, which caused the dilemmas that we have to press our way through. Everything Trump is doing is not a mess that he caused or created. He's cleaning up the previous administration, and all of you know it. Because most of the Democrats know it at this point, because guess what? How many of the Democratic Party are people still rooting for? Like, most people now are pulling away from the party, because guess what? They have the lowest approval rate in how long? How about history? Since they've been doing polls, the lowest approval rating. There's no leader. They have no resolutions. They're not fighting for us. They're not fighting for housing, affordable housing, energy, Medicare, Medicaid. They're not fighting for, you know what they're fighting for? Non-citizens. Like, that's what we want. I did not elect those people that were serving in office, and the ones that calling themselves running from Texas, not to, cast their votes because they don't like gerrymandering, which they did in California. So they're running from their responsibilities. As a leader, you got to run to the situation head on and deal with it. That's how it's done. You're not doing this on our behalf. They're concerned about their own seats and their own welfare and their own livelihood and their families. They couldn't give a darn about American citizens, and they show it all the time. And you know how they show it? When the last time have you heard them talking about us? Do they ever talk about us? When they have mainstream media, liberal media, the Democrats, they don't talk about the American people and our concerns. They're pushing their own narrative on us, like the illegal immigration is supposed to be something that we're supposed to be upholding. And that's a lie from hell. It's a lie from hell. We don't want criminals let loose in our country by another country. The people that were in jail for heinous crime, we don't want that here. That's what they have done to us. They've caused the two wars and the high inflation and interest rates. They caused all the dilemmas. And guess what? They are good. They're good. They've been able to flip it and blame someone who wasn't even in office. How does that happen? The media. The media is more influential than the politicians. How could they have been in office and no one held them responsible for those open borders? The people that came in, it's not their fault. This government was so conniving and so deceptive that look what they did to us for their own gain. Because they wanted to establish a voting bloc. I figured that out a long time ago. I said, what is all this about? It's about power and it's about votes. They wanted to lock down a new voting bloc because they looked at it like this. We already have the black vote. They always take us over the top. We don't have to give them reparations. We could take the reparations that we would have given to the black community, and guess what? We could give it to people to come in this country, offer them luxury apartments, free education, free college tuition, free Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, housing, SNAP. Give them $13,000 on SNAP benefits. Give them thousands and thousands of dollars on ATM cards that they don't have to work for anything. They're going to vote for us. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to, even though we lost the election, we're going to have these fake rallies pushing a fake agenda to no kings, no hands off, or whatever the different ones were called, 50-51. And we're going to get out there and we're going to make the government do what we say, regardless of the majority who voted for Trump to be in office, regardless of following our constitutional rights. We had elections and we decided who we wanted our president to be. And if you don't like it, you just vote again in 4 years. But what they have been doing has not been beneficial for us. None of it has been beneficial for us. But they're pushing a narrative like this is what Americans want, and it's not. We show it in the polls. The Democratic Party is showing it in the polls. My former party, because there's no leadership. They're fighting for themselves. They're not fighting for us. They're fighting more for non-citizens than Americans. They have put non-citizens, illegal immigrants, over American citizens. They prioritize their rights over ours. And we commit and do what they're doing, we're getting life sentences. They're catch and release regardless of whatever crime they commit. They have a guy that they just had on that he just kept committing crimes and felony, attempted murder, everything you could think of. He was already a convicted criminal from his country, came here and has a whole rap sheet of crimes. And guess what? He filed a restraining order against ICE. He was charged, I think, with murder. And now he filed a restraining order for ICE not to touch him that's been convicted of that since he's been in the country. And guess what? He has committed several other crimes and felonies, all kinds of things. And these are the people that they're fighting for, saying that like they have more rights than we do. Something is wrong with this picture. And what they're going to find out in 2026 and 2028, we're not going to continue voting for identity politics, especially the black community, because we're waking up finally, including myself. I didn't know, including myself, we're waking up, and more of us, hopefully half of us, if not more, by 2028, the next presidential election, we're not going to be voting for Democrats. So y'all could push whatever agenda y'all want to. Y'all could get Madani in New York, a socialist. There's only been a citizen of this country for 7 years, and he wants to bring to this country where people were fleeing from socialism, communism, all the isms, and he wants to bring it here to the United States by promising free. Nothing is free. You're not going to get free bus rides. He don't have the power to do it or the money to do it. But lies are real. They can tell you anything. You tell people who don't want to work it's free, guess what? You got my vote. Oh, I don't have to pay to ride the bus. Oh, thank you. You won't still pay. It's nothing free. Oh, let's have government run grocery stores. They're going to control your food, I guess. And that's crazy. Now, what happened with now that ICE agent has gotten shot in the face, they trying to hijack, they didn't know it was an undercover agent. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's saying, oh, he didn't want police in New York. He wants social workers. And ICE, he doesn't want ICE in New York. And guess what happened? Every criminal in the United States can hide out there. Don't have to worry about being touched while it's lawlessness going on. That New York would be a terrorist city in the United States if that were to happen. Because you have to have law and order to have a civil society. You have to have that. And people have it in every country, just like here. That's how the Democratic Party has lost their minds. That's when I thought it couldn't get any worse, that's the best you could come up with. Someone, instead of adapting to our culture, adapting to American citizens and how we operate in this country, you're going to bring something that people are fleeting from, getting away from, to come here to America. That's the whole point. So I'm just glad that Trump is in office. And people talk about the Epstein files. I hope to God they're released soon. Excuse me, y'all, I gotta check my food. And when they don't have anything else to talk about, let's talk about the Epstein files. Y'all gang? Epstein files. What was your reaction when you found out the former president, who's a Democrat, had visited Epstein's island 28 times? How did you look at that? Was that breaking news for you? Did you call out the Democratic Party? Have y'all protests in front of former President Clinton's home? Have y'all said anything about that finding? That the former president, all the things that Epstein is accused of and his associations, did any of y'all protest that? Where are the rallies about him going to the island? Where's the the outrage? Where is it? If y'all found out that Trump had visited Epstein's island 28 times, y'all be looking for his head on a platter. Where's the outrage? And one thing I realized, the reason why the Democratic Party, and I've said it over and over and over again, they had Epstein, he was alive. He was put in jail under their watch. He was eliminated. He suicide, who knows what happened to this man. That was all under their watch. The way that they were trying to prevent Trump, they even tried to lock him up. It seemed like if they had anything on him, instead of going through all the other hoops that they went through to prevent him, they tried to stop him. That's what made me start paying attention to Trump. I'm like, why are they trying so hard to stop this man from becoming president? If they had anything on him, they would have released it. But just having maybe a light bulb moment, the reason why they didn't release it, because guess who's all on the list that they keep hollering about? They're on there. The Democrats. Your Hollywood elites. They're Democrats. Your mainstream media, CBS, NBC, Meet the Joe, Morning Joe, all your mainstream media, that's all are being run by the Democratic Party. They're Democrats. And that's why, they're not, it wasn't pushed, because if Trump released the list, you're looking for him. And it's not him. Because if they had anything on him, it would have been disclosed a long time ago. And everybody knew Epstein. Trump knew who he was. He wouldn't allow him at Mar-a-Lago. He broke ties. He didn't want anything to do with the man before he became his dealings that he was doing, allegedly, because I don't know. He didn't want anything to do with the man. So I think that they're more or less protecting more of the victims than anyone else. But I know at the end of the day, when stuff comes out, that everything you're looking for, you're going to find out all those Democratic leaders, they don't want it released because they're on there. Hollywood is on there. That was like the big deal, like Diddy. You heard of Diddy, right? They all attended Diddy parties too. Look, Diddy was in that circle connected. All of them are connected. That's Hollywood. All of them. I think even Prince Edwards or different people, they were affiliated with Epstein. There's a lot of dignitaries, a lot of big wheels that's on there. So I guess there's people probably that's royalty that they want to protect as well. So this right now is all about protection. It's not about Trump as much as it is about protecting royalty, dignitaries, people like the former president of the United States of America. Nobody has a problem with him being there. Isn't that ironic? It's ironic. There's no problem there, right? But the media has um has done a good job pumping everyone up to get you to hate someone that's working for you. They've done a great job making him the boogeyman. And all along, the Democratic Party are the wolves in sheep clothing, especially for the black community. They played their part great. Great. They know we don't look stuff up. I'm a legislative director of publications and legislation. Sitting on executive boards. I mean, meeting Biden, being with Biden, several occasions, Capitol Hill, all of the who's who in the Democratic Party I've met, been around, been in conferences with, you name it, in the room. But I didn't do my homework. I didn't do my homework. I didn't know. I thought the Democrats, the way they talk about civil rights, I thought they were the ones that were pushing the civil rights bill and the Republicans were against it. Nah, dog. It didn't go like that. It was the Republicans that pushed civil rights bill and wanted it passed unanimously. And you know who had the roadblock for the civil rights bill? Drum roll. It was the Democrats. Can you believe that? 70 days they filibustered. I can't get over this. 70 days they try to filibuster the civil rights bill from being passed. They try to overturn it. Can you believe that? And they walk around like we shall overcome. The People's Party, oh, they had me fooled. I don't know how it flipped from the Republicans to the Democrat being the People Party, but they're most definitely were in the People Party, not for black people. Hey, I got a member on. Hey, and guess what? I had no idea. Okay, Jim Crow. They don't want to talk about Jim Crow. Guess who behind Jim Crow? You could ask Google, Siri, however your news source is. Jim Crow, the Democrats. Mass incarceration of black men, author of the 1994 crime bill. Lo and behold, you ain't black unless you vote for me, Joe Biden. You know that guy, former president, that he caused mass incarceration of black men? You take black fatherhood out of the household, then you wind up with kids in the system. Nobody to raise them because mother now has to hold down a job to take care of the family, so nobody's watching the kids. So then they become part of the street community and they're telling them, oh, forget about your education and learn how to become an engineer, doctor, lawyer, astronaut, pilot, entrepreneur, business owner, multimillionaire, billionaire, all those wonderful things that we have the capabilities of becoming, all of us. But when you don't have an example in your household, then the kids grow up without a role model. And then they get caught in the system, and then they have a president that says that they're beyond the pale, you can't rehabilitate black people. So you get a little young 20-year-old, oh, that's 30 years for a misdemeanor. 30 years, nobody representing him. He has no lawyer, family has no money, and he's doing slave labor for 30 years because of a candy bar. You know, this is the type of things that has happened. But then when you have black fathers in the household, you have people like Deion Sanders. All his children are intelligent, articulate. They all college bound. They all have their degrees. They all have phenomenal fathers pointing them in the right way. Everybody knows who Shador and Shiloh Sanders is, and everybody knows who Deion Sanders is. I'm probably going to stream the game on Friday with Shador. They're going to let him start, even though he hasn't had any reps. No first team reps, but they're going to put him out there as a starter because they want to hide Dylan Gabriel and Reddix, from starting because they know they trash. But that's a whole nother story. But when you have fathers in the household, it makes a difference. They become great. The same thing LeVar Ball. All of his boys could make it to the NBA. All of them. LiAngelo made his little errors, but guess what? He still got a multi-million-dollar contract for his music. That's having a black father any father in the household. You have Serena Williams, father in the household. Tiger Woods, father in a household. When fathers are in a household, then your kids, they are brought up correctly. And we don't need things to separate us as far as our capabilities because God made, this is my saying, all our brains are the same color. The only thing that separates us is our pigmentation, which is beautiful. God made us all different, which is beautiful, but he gave us the same brains, same lungs. All of that is all the same inside. There's no difference between a white person, Asian, black brain. It's all the same. It's about getting that knowledge. Because like he said, people perish for lack of knowledge. So now we need to go out there and learn policy and don't just cast our votes for anyone. Because what Trump is doing from now on, I hope you're on board. I expect transparency. I expect, see how he does nothing with news conferences, no selected reporters, no pre-selected questions, not only answers certain questions. He does news conferences almost every day. If he's not doing, his whole cabinet has access to the public and they're speaking to us. I love it. Keep us informed. Keep us informed. We should all expect this from our leadership. And you know what the Democrats are doing? They still crying about their positions, doing nothing for us. And they think we're going to support them? Hell no. We're not supporting you, Democrats. AOC, Madandi, Jasmine Crockett, all of y'all not focused on Americans. We're about America first. Because we've done our due diligence in taking care of the world. We are givers. But when America needs help, nobody was coming to our rescue. No one was making tariffs fair. 170 countries charge us and they overcharge us and nobody was doing anything about it. They outsourcing our jobs to China and everywhere else. Trump is coming in and reshaping the freaking country. Thank you. Thank God. Thank God. Because Jesus is coming back real soon, but it's not quite time yet. But he's coming back soon. Because if he didn't step in, we would be in nuclear wars right now, and that's a promise. Putin would have trampled over Ukraine by now. They would have joined with China. China would become the greatest power in the world because they didn't even know how to wheel and deal our military when we supposed to have the strongest military in the world, and we hightailed it out of Afghanistan, losing 13 soldier lives, mutilating at least 50, leaving hundreds of billions of dollars worth of equipment, like we're not the United States of America. That's what they did. And then the bodies are going to come back home and Biden looking at his watch like he got somewhere to go. These young people lost their lives. You know, I'm done with all of that, and you should be too. I want to give a shout out. Don't forget to go to my other channel, Pray Till All Here. I'm featuring on there my favorite pastor, Philip Anthony Mitchell. He's, to me, reminds me of John the Baptist crying in the wilderness. I mean, he's telling us Jesus is coming and he's coming back real soon. And become a member. Like, we have special members that have joined our channel. Thank you guys to Karen, Leah, Holland, Kay Cooper, Jeremy Stick, Chef Chevy TV, Debbie P, Kevin Law, and Debbie Gossi. Thank you guys for becoming members. We love you. We appreciate you. And if you like the content, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Turn that on because we are authentic. We don't edit. We don't do all that. We just come on and we speak and we communicate because we have people that watch us from all over the world. Like I would say, like our lives on Friday, I did like 3. I think we had like 500,000 people that actually joined us, and we appreciate it. Yesterday, I think it was 109,000. I was going to come back on because I want to talk about Charlemagne, Charlemagne and Lord Trump. But, we get tired. We got things to do. And, life happens. So we're busy. My son's getting ready to go back to school now. College is getting ready to start back up. So we've been busy. But, hi. Hey. How you doing? Yeah, I called you out, Debbie P. Thank you for being a member. That's like I was reading off the members. Yeah, Debbie P, Kevin Law, Debbie Gossi, Chef Chevy TV, Kay Cooper, Karen Leah Holland. All you guys, thank you guys. Jeremy, thank you for becoming members. Hey, you guys. But it's a lot of work we got to do because at the end of the day, we in it together. We're one nation under God. And this is the best country to be in. But we need to start supporting each other as Americans. Just like other countries, they stick together. They support their citizens. And the things that were going on here, thank God that we had someone like Trump that saw what was happening. Oh my God. If he didn't become president, Jesus. And then you hear all like the no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, getting people that's off out, that's non-citizens out of our Social Security, our Medicare, Medicaid, all these things. It puts money back into our pockets and gets some of our American citizens off the streets. They're still living in cars, vans. That's where they are, in hotels. That's where the American vets, they haven't been given affordability that we're giving non-citizens, and that's not right. Not for people to forfeit this country. It's not right. It's not right. You got to take care of home first. I'm always going to take care of home first. And then, you give to everyone else, but you're not going to neglect your own children. How America's going to neglect their own children? That's not right. But that's how the Democratic Party, that's how they move. And they think we're all on board, and they pushing a narrative that none of us are in agreement with. Until they start working, I don't need Cory Booker grandstanding in Congress and then go back to what Trump this, Trump that. And Amy Schumer, she's calling him out. It's like they're fighting among themselves, but they're not fighting for us. And they trying, right now, they all trying to become that leader that no one is going to follow. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending your time with us. I don't know if be back on. I said that yesterday, but I was so tired because we really have a lot to do because we're entering back into the school year and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot going on. But thanks for joining us. Thank you for the new members. I've been calling you out. This is like the third time. Thanks for joining us. Like Debbie, Chevy, all you guys, Debbie Gossi, Debbie P, all you guys, Jeremy, thank you guys for, becoming a member. And you guys who aren't members, become a member of this channel. We want to do special things, but still building. And we're going to start uploading more. That's why we're asking you to turn the notification bell so that when we do upload, that you'll find the content. And we want to start having guests. And we'll start having panels, and we'll be discussing the issues, and we want people to participate. And our goal is, because you got to set goals and standards, like on one live, we can get 100,000 subscribers. Like Friday, we had 500,000, almost 500,000 people. We should have easily had 100,000 subscribers. But hit that notification bell when you subscribe. And we're building, and we appreciate all you guys. And enjoy the rest of your day. Those who just came on, I don't know what's going to happen a little bit later on. We might do something or we might not, but we like, coming on. We come on almost every day. It looks like except the weekend. So just look for us by turning on the bell and participate. Let your voice be heard. We want to hear from you. And don't forget, after this go down, because I can't read all the comments. Sometimes we have like 3,000 whatever comments, 4,000 whatever, but we can't see them like on the stream and react to everyone. But we do want to react to our members. They're going to have priority over everyone are the people who are becoming members of this channel and the people who are supporting us and subscribing to us. So that's important. And we are going to have something that my son came up that he's going to present to you guys in the near future. And we do want to have like maybe some kind of contest that'll be some monetary wins or whatever when people subscribe, that there be something that you can actually be, rewarded or something you can achieve. So we're going to do something like that because, we want to give out like t-shirts, different stuff, because we want you to engage and enjoy and participate. Because we want to hear from you. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. Hi, everyone. Let's see. Debbie P, yes, USA, the flags. Yeah, we love you. I'm trying to see, do we have... Hey, Debbie. Yeah, God bless all of you guys. Thank you guys for coming on. I don't know if any of the moderators were on, but anyone that's supporting us, we thank you guys. Y'all stay safe. God bless you. Don't forget on your way out to hit the notification bell and like share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. If you want to talk to us or you want us to respond, the best way is like when we do go down, tell people that skip to some of the content. We know how we title the videos, but a lot of people don't understand. We engage a lot and we have great conversations and great content. And we have said things way before everyone else, but it's not titled that way. And I said, we need to tell people about the conversations because the videos appear long, but they don't understand that that's because we are communicating with one another. And that's what's important. That's the only way we can become one nation under God. Anyway, you guys, God bless you. Stay safe. Beloved, above all, I wish that thou may prosper and be in health even as thy soul prosper. And don't forget to subscribe to Pray Till All Here. I really want to be getting on there because people need prayer. People want, instead of worrying and being concerned about things, you got to learn how to give things to God because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So anyway, you guys, stay safe. God bless you. And give your kids a kiss tonight. God bless. Bye-bye.